Hey, Twin Flamies. This is Pat, the creator of The Way Home. And today, I want to talk to you about spiritual gifts and psychic abilities. As a twin flame, you are highly sensitive to the spiritual world. You always have been, even if you didn't realize it when you were younger. These gifts that you have, when you start to awaken and start the healing process and start to really come into yourself and to know yourself on a deeper level, you will realize that you have some, if not all, of these spiritual gifts. It is okay to have those. They are beautiful. I have them. I have them all. They started to awaken in me last year. And yeah, angels are real. I have seen them. I have talked to them. Spirits are nothing to be afraid of. They will actually help you that is their job, in a sense, is to help you on your journey to whatever the purpose is that God gave you. They have actually always been there, but you may not really understand that or be consciously aware of that at all until you start awakening, until you start going down your healing / spiritual / twin flame journey. What is happening right now on a grand scale on this earth is that God, consciously and unconsciously, is awakening the divine feminine aspect, not just of twin flames, but of the energy of humanity as a whole. For a long time, the divine feminine aspects of human existence, of energy, has been suppressed, has been on purpose demonized, has been distorted, blocked out. Also, the divine masculine parts as well. That the what what really is going on is the disease or the infection of the ego, which is of self, which is the ego is the opposite of what's the opposite of God. Because why is that? It's because ego is a false illusion. It will tell you that you are separate from God. You have never been separate from God. You are one with God. Now, an ego is has been infiltrated into the divine masculine parts, maybe of you, but and of humanity as a whole. And this has been a spiritual war that has been going on for a long time. You can call it Lucifer, you can call it the enemy, you can call it negative polarity. It's all the same thing. Has put multiple spells on this planet to suppress, to kill, to demonize the divine feminine aspects. Well, the divine feminine aspects, a lot of that is spiritual gifts, mediumship, however that turns out. Because twin flames are not the only ones that have mediumship abilities and the ability to talk to spirit, hear spirit, see spirit. But as a twin flame, you have a heightened sense and may have all of them. They are nothing to be afraid of. Angels, that is, in spirit. It's amazing to know that I exist and that you exist in a reality where that is true and that is going on and that has been going on for some time. I highly recommend reading um, the New Living Translation of the Bible, getting one of those, and reading the story about King David in the Old Testament. And what is interesting is that before King David actually became the king of Israel, there was the king before him, King Saul. King Saul, and back then, this was thousands of years ago, they all knew that that human life in general is a very spiritual existence. And King Saul actually banned all mediums from practicing that form of divination, whatever it was, whether talking to them, seeing them, conjuring them up, any of that. But King Saul wanted to talk to a guy that was dead, so he actually went and found a medium. And guess what? That medium was a woman. Now, the divine feminine and divine masculine, whichever one you are, that is your soul. That actually has nothing to do with the gender of your vessel, your body. But I do find it interesting that it was a woman because think about it. Think about what's been going on the past hundreds, let's say 500 years. It's been longer, but still, that's a good reference. It actually, the witch hunts, the Christians killing, pagans and all that stuff. Okay, what all the, so I'm not going to get into all that, but basically, it's okay to follow the example of Christ. Yeshua was his real name, and still have these abilities. Have the ability to see spirit, the ability to talk to spirit, the ability to have your third eye opened and healed, and to be able to see the signs of the universe and God and spirit and all that. It gives you. It's beautiful. And guess what? God made you that way. You were born with these gifts on purpose, so you can utilize them for your journey and maybe for others as well. It's so cool. Now, how do you cultivate it? No matter where you are on your journey, as far as how long you've been awakening and healing and on your journey to your purpose, the best ways to really, because think about it, you are not your body. You are actually your soul. And the body is just a vessel for the soul. You are not your mind, you are not your body, you are your soul. And your heart and soul are connected. The best way to do it in a modern day sense is become a quote vegan. It doesn't, you don't have to call yourself that, nor do you have to go exactly by it. What it is the just go by the healthiest, non genetically modified from the earth ingredients as possible and eat it. It does not matter what it can. It's actually really easy to do. I have been able to do it before on $50 a week as my food budget, and I did just fine doing that because I wanted it. And think about it, your mind, whatever you want, you shall receive. It manifests. Now, also, as part of your awakening journey, you may realize that you have some of these gifts, but if your mind has been infiltrated, or if your mind has been warped to believe that there's there's anything negative about the spirit world, or about you being a medium or a bridge to the spirit world. Okay, you have to go into yourself and figure out and release and move forward from any of those blockages. Because there may be some negative belief system or systems within you in your subconscious mind that you're going to have to figure out what they are and release it and move forward in order for you to really cultivate and to be comfortable with you using your own abilities. Because you grew up in a society where you were probably not disconnected from the world. I highly doubt that. And there are going to be things in your life that you have soaked in, memories, images, energies, thought patterns that you may not realize that it's not okay for you to do that. It's considered whatever. Well, that is not true. That is actually a trick from the enemy. So if you are awakening, but yet, like, you see all these signs, or you hear spirit, you see it, you see angels and all of that, but you have negative blockages within you, it's going to be hard for you to be able to truly come to terms with that emotionally, because we're in human form, we grieve everything. And part of the awakening journey of being a twin flame and awaken because what it is your soul awakening. It's laid dormant for however long, but now it's awakened or being awakened. And what that is you are a part of the spirit. Yeah. But you're just going to have to figure out what is going to have to be taken out of you on an energetic and belief system level for you to be able to truly accept it and truly utilize it, and to truly believe that it's even happening. The proper diet and quitting any bad habits like nicotine use, meditation helps, sound therapy helps because it realigns your inner vibration, because it's faith. What you're really doing too is part of you accepting your gifts. And trust me, that may not happen overnight. It took me, it's a journey within itself to be able to accept the fact that I had the abilities that I do. And it's really cool because when you start to accept it and you start to utilize it, you can talk to them. You can talk to spirit. They'll answer you. Some of them may be your dead ancestors that you knew. Some of them may be ancestors of spirit, because there's, even if you don't believe this, it's true. You've had multiple lives. You are not. There is no way. There is no way that you are a twin flame in this reality, in this life, and this is your first. Because you are not your body or your mind. Remember, you're your soul. Your soul has had multiple lives in order for you to even be able to be a twin flame and alive in your current life now. So they may be ancestors of spirit. They also may be archangels. Archangel Michael is awesome. And just know that they love you and they want the best for you. And they have been told what your purpose is in the long run, even if they haven't told you and you don't know it. You may know seeds of it, but you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You're not supposed to. It's supposed to be a journey. You're not supposed to know everything at once. And it's a muscle. Faith is a muscle. And it's faith in it's faith in yourself in a broad sense, but it's faith in your own psychic abilities. I do not recommend doing a Ouija board, Because that, who knows who you conjure up with that, but because think about it, the duality of it, the duality of life, of this universe, is that there are negative forces, there are negative spirits, there are demons. All of that exists too, because the light cannot exist without the dark. An easy way for you to see which ones you have, or to be able to communicate with spirit if you're just waking up as a twin flame, is tarot cards. You can go, I personally recommend going to a metaphysical shop, or even Barnes and Noble has them, and going and seeing which one you feel like resonates with you and you feel like you want, and that's the one to get. Because the feeling part is your intuition, and I believe that is also a spiritual gift, not just the ability, not just the clairs. And cultivating your faith in your own intuition is a muscle, just like it's a skill, just like being able to hear spirit, see spirit, talk to them, accept and understand the messages. All of that is actually a skill. Now, it's skills you were born with, but think about it, like any other skill in this human existence, you have to be able to grow the skill in order for it to get better. Just like cooking or any other skill. Another form of divination, which the word divination just means an act or a, quote, ritual that you can do to communicate with the spirit world. Now, I've never done it, but runes is a thing. You can look that up. That they are, it's an ancient alphabet. I don't know its origins, but I know that that's a way you can do it. You can buy a set of runes and go play with them, essentially. There are meditations you can go to on YouTube, because all of these spiritual and psychic gifts actually stem from your third eye. And part of the opposing force and part of what you may have to do in your healing journey is actually heal, because healing is holistic. You're healing your mind, your body, and your spirit. So putting in the wrong foods, right? Putting in junk food, putting in just genetically modified foods that aren't healthy, foods that aren't good, foods that are not from the earth. What all that stuff actually does too is that, well, it actually disables your third eye, but it numbs it. It eats some of it, even kills it without you knowing it. And that is your third eye is your connection to spirit, the pineal gland. Because when you see spirit, when you hear spirit, when you talk to spirit, none of that is actually coming through your eyes. I mean, yeah, of course, your eyeballs will see them, but how that actually works, the transmission of that information or energy, is actually from your third eye. And your third eye projects out what it is, whatever the information is, whether you see angels or whether you hear them, and all of that. Because think about it, man. If you're watching this and you're a real twin flame, because that, let me say that too. In this overload of information that exists on this planet right now, because of the internet age and all of that, there is so much information, too much information, and too much misinformation on what the twin flame means. It fooled me for a while. That's how I can tell you about it. A twin flame does not mean a soulmate. The difference between a twin flame and a soulmate is that a twin. There's a word I'm going to use, but I'm going to let you figure out what that word is. I'm not going to say it. That's for you to discover. A twin flame is actually a soul that has been split in two. One of them, you, whoever you are watching this, are either a divine feminine or divine masculine. But initially, before your souls hit your body, you were one. You were one soul split into two, so you're mirrors of each other. Now, going with that? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Both of you have them. The divine masculine, divine feminine. It doesn't matter which one you are. The difference between a twin flame and a soulmate is just someone that your soul has been married to. You were a mate with in your past life. But a twin flame is not that. A twin flame has nothing to do with that. You're actually one person and you're just mirrors of each other in this game. Because think about it, live, it's really cool, is a video game. That's one perspective to look at it as. And you are the player one. You, if any of you out there have ever played video games, any RPG, doesn't matter which one, a role-playing game, you're the character. You're playing a role. And part of your role is to accept and to cultivate whatever spiritual and psychic gifts you have that God gave you. It is okay that you have those. God wants you to use them because they're awesome. And the longer you go on your journey, the easier it will be to accept your gifts, to utilize them, to see which ones you have more strength in than others. And that comes with time. That comes with healing. That comes with the grieving process of going from being asleep to awakening. It's a journey. It's one that's beautiful. And oh, I'm so excited that y'all are on it. That's it. I really appreciate you watching and listening to this. Check out my podcast. It is all over all of the podcasting streaming services except Spotify. And it's called The Way Home. I also have a website, www.thewayhome7.wordpress.com, where I have free online courses that you can check out that I have developed for you to be able to understand more of the healing modalities that will help you along your journey that I may not cover in my videos or podcasts or posts. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I love you. See ya.